Hey, what's up, guys? Brian Barrera here, COLC Innovation. I got cut off on the last video like I always do. Trust me, I'm going to get better. The problem is, though, is that sometimes I'm just not seeing the time, and I'm just going off of this on these slides and on everything I want to talk to you guys about. I go crazy and I just go too far and I lose track of time. It's not going to be 6 videos, just one video and a half. I'm going to be done in a few minutes. But the last example that I was giving was what happens when someone hits a base hit and they extend the play because they see that the outfielder is taking their time or not hustling at all, and they go get to second base, and there's one out already, and then the next person that comes up, they get a single, and you score from second base. I know that's huge baseball analogy. Sorry if I'm losing you. Trust me, I'll get back into the business world in a little bit. But if you wouldn't have legged out that hit to get to second base and the other person got a single and you were still on first, you would only get to second base. You have a chance to get to home from second base off that one single the next person hit, right? So I know you're probably confused if you don't watch baseball, but pretty much what I'm saying is that if somebody extends a project by delivering good stuff, let's say you wanted to land a huge contract that was going to change the way you work, right? You're thinking to yourself, oh yeah, home run power, right? Home run. We're going to hit a home run on this. We're going to blow them away. You don't need that. What if a quoting part of it? What if they gave you the tools, the keys to the kingdom, and in their quote package, in the RFQ, the RFP, whatever, they asked you, you know what? We really need someone who's going to really watch costs for us, who's really gonna hit our price points, right? So you're thinking to yourself, oh yeah, what's landed us is the best equipment or the best salespeople or the best customer service people or the best narrative response, whatever the case, that's what lands it. But they told you inside they said, we're gonna watch you based on these 5 scales. We're gonna watch you based on these five. And then they start telling you like how much of a percentage each one of those scales is gonna take into consideration of who's gonna get the project, right? Into your score. So let's say there's 5 scales, they call them weighted averages. But but if you don't read that, if you're just saying, oh no, we're gonna kill them with this stuff, we're gonna build a new room for them, or we're gonna do this, or whatever we're gonna do, we're gonna go crazy. That's fine. But if you read the actual RFP or whatever or the quote from your client, if you actually read it and it states in there, we don't really care about your technological capabilities. We don't really care about your personnel. We know you're good at that. And if you read the weighted averages, it says in there that price is going to be 40% of the scoring matrix that they're watching out for. It's 40%. That leaves you 60%, right? So there's 5 more items. So you can do the math. There's 5 more items. Each one's going to be 12%, but they want that 40%. They want that 40% that they're really going to pay attention to in the pricing. So let's say you're the boss, you're the sales manager, or you're whatever, and you're the one in charge of this project and landing it. And let's say you have an employee that actually does a great job with quoting. In the quoting process, they actually found out that you know what? I'm gonna ask for more work, and through that more work, I'm gonna give them a price reduction, right? Or if we help them get this work, but we help them with this area, we help them with getting material, or we help them with getting equipment, or we can, I don't know, just anything that will help in reducing that price, right? Maybe working with a sister country or a sister city or whatever the case, maybe doing that's going to allow us to really cut costs. But doing that kind of stuff is the 40% that they're talking about. It's a weighted average that they're paying attention to in order to determine where that work's going to go, right? So that's what you have to pay attention to. That's called hitting for average. That's legging it out. They could have just gone on first base, but no, they wanted to get to second because they wanted to hit that home run. But they didn't want to go at it by themselves. They didn't want to swing for the fences and strike out. They wanted to leg it because they saw someone else was lacking. A competitor was lacking, right? Or the person who sent out that RFP was lacking in what and how creative to be in the deal. They found a creative part that the client didn't find out, so they introduced that creativity to the client, which would help reduce that price. But what happens if you go even below the price that they wanted? They may then start thinking, you know what, that's too good to be true. Okay, that's fine. How can you prove it out even further? That's getting on base. That's getting that base hit. It's not hitting home runs. It's not. Hitting home runs is the exact opposite. It's you going after. It's you going after that home run, right? And you're just swinging blindly. Sorry, you're just swinging for that blind. You're going for it. That's not if blindingly is not a word. I want you to laugh and realize that I want this to be raw and uncut. So I'm just trying to talk to you guys about this. You're going after it blind, right? That's not the case with hitting for average. Hitting for average, you're getting there one step at a time. The quickest way to 1,000 steps is getting that one in. It is. It's that thousand step journey is to take one step at a time. That's the way to get in there. And that analogy is probably wrong too, but guess what? I want you to have fun because I'm trying to show you this model, right? So under pressure behavior, passive, resentful. That's what we're seeing there. Passive, right? You're hitting for average. Under pressure, you become passive because you're like, nope, nope, I'm not putting my name on that. I already did this. This is the way I did it. I got this. Yeah, well, I'm not going to be able to do that. That's not what we talked about. That's not what we said we were going to do. When they know that we did talk about that, but it's just gone a little bit over them. The pressure has gone to them, so they're starting to question their abilities. That's what hitting for average people do. They're starting to question their abilities when it comes to you're going to have to hit a home run on this. You're going to have to steal a base with your speed, not with your not with your cognitive abilities. You're going to have to really go outside of your realm, outside of your comfort zone. They become resentful, very resentful, because you're not just facing one or two. You're not facing one, you're facing two things because they've already doubted themselves on getting to that next level, on hitting that home run. They're already starting to doubt themselves. So these people that are very meticulous, they're very meticulous, very detail oriented, they know how to get on base when they can't figure out the next step, they're already hard on themselves and they're trying to keep themselves from going that route because they don't want to lose that comfortability. They don't want to lose it. They don't want to get out of their comfort zone. So when a manager and owner gets a subject matter expert, or when they get that person to come out of that box, that's already dangerous for themselves. But now you're bringing them out, but now they're shifting all that negativity, them not believing in themselves, they're now shifting that power onto you. So as you bring them outside of that comfort zone and you're showing them, hey, you could do more than just the subject matter. Hey, you can do more than just quoting. Hey, you can do more than just being a quality person. Hey, you can do more than that. I want you to be a leader. I want you to be a manager. I want you to be an executive. When you pull them out of that comfort zone and they're scared and they're not getting the guidance from you, they become resentful because they passed all that pressure onto you. And because you didn't help them or you didn't help them enough and they failed, got to remember this. They were happy. They were really happy when they were by themselves. They were happy when they were in their cubicle, or they were happy when they ran just one department, or when they didn't run a department, when they just did quoting. They were happy. You took them out, and now they're failing at it. Now they're failing at it. Look at that. Like I always say, it goes naturally, organically into the next step. Consistency versus innovation. You kill their consistency, it's gone. They don't have it no more because they're in a new world. They don't know about empathy and sympathy. They don't know about feeling for employees. They just came in and knocked it out. They got on base one step at a time. They got super, super excited when a project came on their desk that they had 100 items. They had to hit one at a time. They were excited about it. But to actually build that project, to have the thought process of building that project and seeing the vision on how that project has to be successful, two totally different things. Totally different things. It's one thing to get a list that's already built out as opposed to having the vision to build that list. Totally different things. Look at that. Again, innovation, having that vision, having that innovative spirit, right? To do something new outside of your consistency. That's why it's consistency versus innovation. To do something outside of your box, to do something innovative is outside of your comfort zone. It's outside of your consistency. Last one is arm strength, authentic, connective. That's when it works. That's when it's rolling, right? Authentic, connective. You're hitting that cutoff, man. Boom. You got to throw them out third. You know you can get there safely. Throw it out. You got it there. The influence, the passion, the authenticity, your outreach, How far can your influence go? That's arm strength. Under pressure, theatrical, dominating. We talked about that with the pressure grid that we went over before. Under pressure grid, Theatrical, dominating. Let's take it to a step further though. Tension theme, clarity versus performance. What if you don't have everything? What if you don't have all the answers, but you have to give an update? You have to give a state of the union. You have to tell people what's going on. You have to. So you rather perform. You rather look like you know what you're talking about. That's the influence that you're sharing, even though what you're saying is full of BS. That's the tension right there. Am I clear? Do I tell people, hey guys, if we don't pick up sales, we're going to be closing up shop in a month? Or would you rather make everybody happy and not have them work in fear? Because some people will get scared. Some people will do extra. Some people will get scared. But when you tell people that kind of stuff, the performance part, man, I mean, it's going to really, really eat you alive, right? Because you're thinking like, man, what do I tell them? And you decide to just perform. You decide to put on a facade. You decide to tell everyone that everything's okay. There's no problems. We're hunky dory. We're hitting our quarterly numbers. Our investors are super happy. Blah 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 blah. Right? Versus the clarity, the clear, concise message that you really should be sending. Guys, we're not doing too well right now. This is what we're doing. You have your graphs ready. This was our sales a year ago. This is our sales now. I'm telling you guys right now, we're not hitting our numbers. Something's happened in the marketplace where AI is taking over our industry, or the tariffs are hitting us really hard right now. So we have to get our new product from somewhere else that's more expensive, but it might help our quality numbers, right? That's when quality jumps up and says, whoa, hey, our quality right now, it's really, really bad with that vendor. That vendor's really hurting us. We're getting like a 10% rejection rate. But if we move with this quality over here, with this product over here, even though it's more expensive, it's actually going to save us 7% of our scrap because it's so much better. It's so much more, has so much more updated technology or advanced technology with it. That's why clarity is so much important more than performance. When you're just performing and you're shutting people off and you're dominating, it keeps people from actually telling you awesome things that can help you, stepping up to the plate. It keeps them back, right? That influence that you're throwing out there keeps them not wanting to talk to you, right? Or what happens too is that your influence then makes them have the same kind of influence on their own team. Hey, everything's fine. Let's keep going the way we're going. Everybody's happy. But now you have a whole train of people all doing the same thing, going in the wrong direction. So you're telling everyone everything's great. A manager that really looks up to you says the same thing to their team. Ron Uncut says the same thing to their team, and they say it to their team, and now everybody's doing the same job they're doing that's not making the company money, and it's going in the wrong direction. So that's it, guys. That's the behavioral calibration grid. This is what's behind the under pressure grid that we went over, right? Under pressure behavior. This is what's behind that. This is what adds the tension and the pressure and everything. This is what you should be looking after when you're evaluating employees, when you're evaluating toxic employees, when you're trying to promote someone from a position into a managerial position, when you're promoting. This is when this really works. If you interview someone 3 or 4 times, which you should be doing, if you might think that's roadkill, but it's not, because you should be having different setups when you interview people. But when you're interviewing people, you're interviewing them 3 or 4 times. You can actually use this grid. You can use it because you're having more situations with them. You're having more experiences with them. So you can start really looking at to when are they under pressure? Oh, you know what? I didn't pressure them enough in the last interview. Or you know what? I didn't catch that tension. What was it? This allows you to dot your I's and cross your T's in the interview process. So for interviews, you can use this. For evaluations with a toxic leader or just a person, a person who has a review coming up, you can use it in a leadership role. And then also you can use it for toxicity. And then once again, you can use it for performance and evaluation, like I mentioned, and the hiring process and promoting. All right, guys, thank you so much. That's it for me. That's it for the behavioral calibration grid. And until next time, guys, really appreciate you. All right, take care. Bye.